your calf.
I think that's a really good thing to learn. What a good job. Thanks for talking to me, big guy. How about a round of applause for that guy? Yeah, he did good. Now the pressure's on, isn't it? Right? Can you tell me your name?
Amelia.
Amelia what?
Myri.
Okay, Amelia, can you tell me the name of your calf?
Midnight.
Midnight. Is Midnight... what color is Midnight? Let's see. Is he purple?
No.
Not a purple cow?
Black.
Black. Okay. So that why you named it Midnight?
Yeah.
Can you tell me what your calf eats?
My calf eats grain.
What kind of grain? Corn? Okay. Does you give your calf the vegetables that you don't like to eat?
No.
No. You don't want those kind of food, huh? He likes to eat maybe some corn, do you think?
Yeah.
Okay. What do you do to take care of Midnight?
I brush her and I give her lots of love.
Brush her and give her lots of love. What a great way to take care of your calf. Awesome. Okay. So is there anything you don't like about taking care of your calf?
Bottle feeding it.
You don't like bottle feeding him. Good thing your mom and dad like bottle feeding you, huh? Good thing. But you bottle fed anyway, right?
Yeah.
Okay. That's the responsible thing to do, isn't it? Okay. Are you glad you're here today?
Yeah.
We are here. Okay. Round of applause for this young lady. Okay. Now you're up. She's smiling. She's looking confident. I like a sassy girl with confidence. Right? Okay. Can you tell me your name, honey?
Emerson.
Emerson what?
Smith.
Emerson Smith. Okay. I got to find you on the list here. All right. And can you tell me who your parents are, honey? I think I forgot to ask the last girl.
Brett and Amanda Smith.
Okay. Brett and Amanda. Do they help you with your calf?
Yeah.
What do they do to help you?
Help me walk it.
Help you walk it. They got 4 legs and you have 2. That's probably hard to keep up with, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, so do you have to give, let's see, what was your calf's name?
Claire.
Claire. Do you have to give Claire a bath once in a while?
Yeah.
What do you do to do that?
What?
What do you do to give her a bath?
Clean it so it doesn't get dirty.
You put a hose on her?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then a brush?
Yeah.
She's a wild one, isn't she?
Yeah.
You got her all festive here in her fancy little halter. That looks nice. She wants the paper, doesn't she? Okay. What did you learn from your project this year, Emil?
I had to get up early in the morning to feed it.
Did you like that?
No.
No. Burn. Nobody likes that. Well, some people do, I guess, don't they? But you didn't. Okay. Would you do this project again?
Yes.
Good for you. Okay. She did a great job, didn't she? All right. Round of applause for Emerson. Emerson, right? Did I get that right? Boy, I'm old and I forget sometimes. All right. Young lady. Here, you're looking nervous. Okay. Can you tell me your name?
Kyla.
And your last name, Kyla?
Williams.
Kyla, can you tell me your mom and dad's name?
Terry and Jessica.
Okay. So what's your calf's name?
Chloe.
Chloe, what a great name. She looks all dolled up here, too. Okay, so tell me what you do to take care of Chloe.
I give her a bath all the time.
She's liking us, isn't she? You give her a bath? Okay, and what else do you do?
I brush her after.
You brush her after her bath?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Do you feed her?
Yeah.
What do you feed her?
Oats and corn.
Oats and corn. Do you ever eat oats and corn? Not that kind, do you? Okay. Let's see. What did you learn from your project this year?
Mostly just taking care of her. Yeah.
Okay. And was it fun? Did you have fun with your project?
Yeah.
Who are your mom and dad?
Terry and Jessica.
Okay. Did they help you?
Yeah.
It's a good thing, too. She looks like kind of a wild one, doesn't she? Yeah. Okay. Thank you, honey. Thanks for talking to us today. Round of applause for her. All right, we're getting down the list here. Got to fold my paper in it. Okay, I'm standing at the back end of this calf. I'm not sure what's going to happen here. We don't want to get any of that on us, do we? No, we don't. Okay, big guy, can you tell me your name?
Briar.
Briar. What's your last name, Briar?
Briar Gable.
Briar Gable. Who's your mom and dad?
Mike and Paisley.
Okay. He looks like he's ready to go today, doesn't he? Yeah. So can you tell me what calf's name is?
Honey.
Honey? How'd you come up with that name?
I don't know.
You just named him that, huh? What did you like about taking care of your calf?
Walking.
What did you do to walk him? Did you just put the halter on, or did you do something special besides that?
Walking.
You just went out walking, huh? Okay. What? Let's see. What do you ever? Does your calf eat every day?
Yeah.
Do you eat every day?
Yeah.
Yeah. So do you have to feed your calf before you eat?
Yeah.
Do you? You get up early and feed your calf before you eat? Super duper. Okay. That's awesome. All right. So what do you do to spend time with your calf?
Go in the pen and spend time with it.
What was that, big guy?
Go in the pen and spend time with it.
Oh, do you go to the pen and spend time with it? Okay. I bet he likes that, doesn't he? Yeah. He looks like a nice calf. Okay. What did you learn with your project? What did you learn by doing this project, taking care of your calf?
I don't know.
Do you know what you learned? No, we don't. Sometimes we don't know what we learned, do we? But we had some fun, didn't we? Yeah, it was fun. Okay, good job. Thanks for talking to us. Round of applause for that guy. Okay, should we turn around so everyone can see us? We want everybody to see us, don't we? Oh, sometimes it's easier than others, isn't it, Lennon? Okay. All right. Who we got here?
Lennon.
Lennon what?
Umshide.
Lennon, who are your parents?
Ben Umshide and Alyssa Umshide.
Man, I bet they don't know anything about animals, do they? Yeah, they know a lot about them, don't they? Okay, tell us the name of your calf, if you would.
Donut.
Donut. How'd you come up with that name?
She looks like a donut.
Yeah, how does she look like a donut?
Black. I don't know.
She's black and we don't know. Well, that's who knows why we name our things sometimes, right? So, do you give Donut a bath every day?
No.
Not every day. Okay, how often do you scrub her?
Once a week.
Once a week. How often do you get a bath?
3 times a week.
Okay. As long as we do it sometimes, right? That's a good thing. Yeah. Okay. So what does your calf eat?
Creep feed.
Creep feed. Good job. You feed it creep feed every day?
Yes.
Okay. So what did you learn from your project, Lennon?
I don't know.
What did you do to take care of Donut?
Fed her, gave her water, cuddle her.
What was the most important part about taking care of her?
Giving her water and food.
Okay, food and water. But you said food and water and love, and I think they're all important, aren't they? I bet you were pretty good on giving out the love part, weren't you? I think so, too. Round of applause for that young lady. Okay. Oh, okay. Okay, so now we have Sophia, right? And so we're going to ask Sophia a couple of questions, and Eli's going to help us with her answers, okay?
Put the mic right there.
My name is Sophie. My mom and dad are Dan and Louisa. My calf's name is Lola. My calf's birthday is May 22nd.
Okay. All right. Sophia, it's so nice that you're with us to show your calf. We're very happy that you could be part of the Beef Buddy program. Round of applause for this young... Oh, see, good for her. Good for her. Okay, anything else? Okay. Thanks so much, you guys. And now we're down to trouble with a capital Tr. Am I right? I think so. All right. Can you tell us your name, young man?
Thomas Henningsen.
Thomas Henningsen. You first and last right off the bat, didn't you? Good job. Okay. Thomas, can you tell us the name of your calf?
Milk.
Milk? How did you get that name for your calf? You just thought of it? Yeah, I think that's a good enough reason, don't you think? Okay. How do you spend time with your calf, Thomas?
Walk with her.
You walk, okay. So where do you take your calf when you go walking?
In my front yard.
In the front yard? You have a big front yard? Yeah, I think you do, don't you? There's lots of room for you guys to walk there. Okay, what does your calf eat?
Starter feed and milk and water.
Wow, listen to that kid. Starter feed and milk and water. Awesome. You know what goes in there, don't you? You know what comes out, you know what goes in, right? Yeah, it kind of works that way, doesn't it? Okay, so do you ever feed your calf your vegetables that you don't like?
No.
What vegetables don't you like? What vegetables don't you like? Or do you like all of them? I think your calf is hungry, don't you think? Yeah. Okay, so what do you what's your favorite part of the Beef Buddy project? What did you like about doing this project, Thomas?
Walking her.
Oh, you liked walking the best. You just like spending time with this calf, don't you? Good for you, and it shows. You really know what you're doing out here. Okay, would you do Beef Buddies again?
Yeah.
What should we know? Is there something we should know about your calf?
No.
No, we know everything there is to know. Okay. All right. Good job. Who are your parents?
Hillary and Daniel.
Hillary and Daniel. Are they here today? Yeah. They are. Are they watching you? I think Grandpa and Grandma are here too. I think lots of Grandpa and Grandmas are here today watching too, aren't they? Okay. Round of applause for this young man. Boy, you know they say most memorable days end in dirty clothes, and that the clothes can be washed, but the memories last a lifetime. And this is really a start of a lot of great memories for these kids. We hope they continue with their projects all the years they're growing up in 4-H and FFA. Thanks so much, everyone, for being part of it.
Congratulations to our Beef Buddies exhibitors this morning. What a great item on the agenda this morning. We're going to move into the Clover Kids Beef Show, and this is the Bottle Bucket Calf Show portion of the program. And the exhibitors in this class are ranged from kindergarten to third grade. We certainly want to thank the Dickinson County Ag Society for sponsoring this portion of the show. I am not quite sure of the order of the kids coming into the ring, but I will just announce who the exhibitors are this morning in this Clover Kids Bottle Bucket exhibitors portion of the show. We have Nellie Botel from Lake Park, Amelia Meyer from Okoboji. We have Austin Lortz from Milford, Carter Johnson from Okoboji, Lennon Umscheid from Okoboji, Elias Umscheid from Okoboji, Tristan Johnson from Okoboji, and then Sophia Hines from Spirit Lake. Just a reminder, folks, that I know we ran a little short of programs this morning. They are working on printing up some more of those, so please be patient with the staff. They'll get some more out as soon as they can.
You're doing a great job. Is she tame?
He.
Is he tame?
No. Yes.
Are you having a good time? Well, you look like you're having a lot of fun. You look like you did a good job so far. We'll come back to you. Young man, what's your name?
Cardo.
Carter? What's your calf's name?
Extra deep.
Say that again.
Extra deep.
Extra deep. There we go. Looks like a nice Hereford calf. Is he tame?
Kind of.
Boy, I'm not very good at this, folks, so just bear with me. Well, I think you got a nice shirt on. You look like you're well represented. Your calf looks like it's really, looks like it's eating good. Do you feed it a lot of feed?
Hay.
You feed it a lot of hay. That's good. Hay might be expensive this year, so don't feed it too much. Good job, young man. Hi there. What's your name?
Tristan.
Hi, Tristan. Is that your brother? Yes. Ah, of course. What's your calf's name?
He doesn't have a name.
That's a good way not to get attached to your calf. There you go. What's your favorite part about your calf?
I don't know.
That's a fair answer. I like your haircut. I gave my boys a haircut just like it the other day. I got 2 boys about your size and him. You guys remind me a lot of them. Good job, you two. You did great with your Herefords. Young lady, what's your name?
Sophia,
Hi, Sophia. Looks like you got a pretty young one there. How old is she?
I don't know.
Pretty young. Does she have a mom?
Well, she's a bottle calf.
There you go. So you get to feed her. There you go. So she's your bottle calf. Well, looks like she kind of likes you. What's your favorite part about showing a calf?
Leading him around.
Leading him around. I like that. I think you're doing a good job. She seems pretty cute. Good job, young lady. Hi, young man. What's your name?
Austin.
Hi, Austin. What's your, is this a steer or a bull?
Bull.
It's a bull. Are you going to keep him a bull, and is he going to breed cows?
No, we're selling him. We're gonna sell him.
You're going to sell him. That's a good idea. You going to keep all the money?
Yes.
There you go. Well, good job. Looks like you're having a good time. He seems pretty quiet. Are you a little quiet too?
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, good job, young man. All right, buddy. What's your name?
Eli.
Hi, Eli. What's your calf's name?
Donut.
Donut. Donut. He doesn't look like a donut. He looks like hamburger.
I don't know why I named him. My sister named him.
Oh, your sister named him. Okay. Or it's a her. Are you going to keep her or are you going to sell her?
We're gonna sell her.
Okay. Is this your brother? No? You're just friends. Okay. All right. Well, you have fun?
Yes.
You going to do this again next year?
Yeah.
Good. I like to hear that. This calf looked like he likes me. All right. Good job, young man. Hi, young lady. I like your pink boots. What's your name?
Amelia.
Hi, Amelia. Is this a bottle calf?
Yes.
Do you feed it bottles?
It doesn't have bottles anymore.
Oh, you weaned it off the bottles.
Yeah.
So what's it eat?
Grain.
Oh, good. Looks like she's growing good, healthy. I like your boots more than anything. Did you pick out your boots?
No.
Well, I think you did a great job with your calf. If you guys want to go take him for a big lap again and parade him around the ring one more time for these great folks that came out to watch you, and go ahead and give these kids a great round of applause for bringing these calves out. They're doing a great job. Congratulations, guys. Good job.
of senior beef showmen this morning. We have Ashlyn Nitschke, Allison Wallace. One class? Okay, they're going to combine them. So we're just going to run one class. So we got Jackson Krebs, Rylan Arrett, Kyra Payne. We have Easton Breivik, Riley Johansson, and we'll have Aiden and Anthony Quayle, Gavin Franker, Claire Scholerman, Kylan Green, Montana Wilson, and Wyatt Lorch.
Well, congratulations on all you seniors for bringing out your calves and getting involved in the showmanship process. And I know it's kind of painful sometimes getting the calf ready and getting into the ring. And when it comes to showmanship for me, I just look for somebody that looks really comfortable and works well with their animal. Comfortability, I was never a very good showman, but someone that's real comfortable with their calf, they're working well together. Presentation doesn't make too big of a deal for me. I mean, as long as you're working well with your calf, it's set up looking its best at all the time, and you're courteous in the ring, taking care of each other's calves, helping tail calves, helping your friends out and tailing each other's calves. That's kind of the most important thing about it. Keeping them presented well. I think this is a really good group of young kids out here, and I'm really happy to see this many out here participating in this. With that being said, I'll go ahead and start placing your showmanship here. Let's give these kids a big round of applause. This is a great event for them. With that being said, these are our final three that I got out here, and I was just going to build a little bit of suspense for y'all. I'll go out there and pick your champion in reserve, and then this will be your top three here, and I'll go out and select your champion reserve and go from there. But again, congratulations. Let's give these kids a big round of applause. Congratulations, young lady. You did a great job. Reserve. Good job. Where's third? Good job, dude. Awesome job. Good job.
Okay, congratulations to Riley Johansson. This morning's Senior Showman Championship. Second in the Salt Showmanship competition was Allison Wallace, and third was Anthony Quayle. Congratulations.
Not too fast?
No, that was good. You lined them up right. We're just trying to get numbers and them all get memorized. That's okay.
Whatever you guys want.
Did the committee change that?
Well, again, a really competitive class of junior showmen here, and I think everyone does a great job. I went down the line here when we placed these four individuals here and just kind of gave them some pointers about how to kind of have a little more control over their halter when they are sticking their calves. If you got too much slack on that halter, you're not able to crank her head up or hold her head just right. It's just the little things like that we talked about, and I think everyone took a pretty good took my advice, and they were really courteous and helpful, and I like talking to them. I'd like to see that kids are paying attention. They're doing a good job. I'm going to leave these four right here as they stay. These four standing on the side profile. You'll come back in the second heat after this next class for the finals, and we'll excuse these. Give these exhibitors a round of applause. They did a great job, and I think it's really, really close. Here's another impressive group of junior showmen that I think do a great job. And if you can kind of take a moment and see these three kids out here, how calm and collected they are. This young man in the front does a nice job keeping his calf attentive, getting it set up at all the right times. Young lady steer in the middle, she's giving him a little bit of troubles, but or he's giving her a little bit of trouble right now, but she's always done a good job of keeping her space and really keeping that calf in control and utilizing just a little bit of room she's got. Young man, I really like your cowboy hat too. I think that's pretty cool. But, yeah, you guys do a great job. We went back down the line and talked to these individuals that we placed. We'll take these three back here for the finals, and we'll get you a champion selected on this next class. Let's give these exhibitors a big round of applause. Congratulations. Well, I'm trying to be as quick as I can, folks. I know it's going to be a long day for these kids and these cattle. So, yeah, and just so like on a side note, your calf laying down for showmanship, young man, that doesn't bother me. I've seen it a million times. And how you handled it, you didn't get flustered. You're calm, cool, collected, got back in line, and that's important. I've seen kids, calves lay down, and then all of a sudden they just fall apart. And you're keeping calm, and that's what you're supposed to do. I really appreciate that. I talked to the 4 kids that I pulled in here. They're all doing a really great job. When you get down to it, it's really splitting hairs. There's not much difference between each of you kids. You all do a great job. I think you're going to be very successful down the road in your careers showing cattle. Have fun doing this. It's been a pleasure. I'll go select you a champion junior showman. Let's give these kids a round of applause. Congratulations. Here's a really nice pair of females here in this feeder calf division. That's a lot of work getting these calves weaned and getting them out of the pasture this early in this stage of the game and getting them in the show ring. And I think there's a lot of quality to both of these females. The young lady that we used to win, She's just got more body shape to her right now. She's maybe just a little more feminine about her head and neck, but she could maybe be powered up just a shade compared to the Hereford heifer in second. I really appreciate that young lady's heifer, the Hereford heifer's feet and legs. She's got an awesome foot structure. She's really good in her bone work. She's extremely long-bodied and leveled from hooks to pins. I think that heifer's going to make a heck of a good cow for you, young lady, and I really think that's a high-quality pair of females. Congratulations to both of you, and good luck with them down the road. Young man has a really cool prospect calf. Got a good build to him. I asked him if he was going to sell him or keep him. He said he's going to feed him for next year, and I think that's a good idea for that young man. I think that calf will be really competitive once he gets fat. He's got the right build. He's been blessed with a beautiful hair coat. He's got good feet and legs, and I think that calf's going to be really cool to come back next year for this young man. Congratulations on a high-quality prospect steer, young man. when we get our steer out here and our class-winning heifer, it's kind of comparing apples to oranges here. We got a really high-quality steer that I think is going to have a great future down the road, and just making small talk with the young man, and he's got a pretty good plan for him. And young lady's got this heifer presented really, really well, and she does a great job showing. I think she's got a great future as well. It's just personal preference for me. I'm going to use the young man's steer. I'm kind of a sucker for a good club calf steer. He'll be your champion prospect. The young lady with the red Angus heifer, you'll be reserved. Congratulations to both of you. Good job, buddy.
So the champion feeder calf this morning was exhibited by Tyler Wallace, and the reserve feeder calf champion was shown by Montana Wilson. We're going to have several classes of breeding heifers that coming up now this morning. And our first class is of heifers is an October birth date, and this will be Gammon Ailers.
Got a good look to her. These don't breathe, or you can throw them like breathers. Here's a nice single entry heifer this young man brought to us today. One that's got a good look about her from her front 1/3, good about her head and neck. I'd maybe like to rearrange her hip structure just a shade, but she's well balanced and she's really youthful, so she's got plenty of time to fill out. Young man does a great job presenting her. Let's give him a round of applause on a nice single entry. Here's a really nice August heifer, single entry, one that's really long-bodied and really feminine about her head and neck, and I really appreciate her bone work. She sits down with a big hoof. She's really good about her belly shape being really round in her rib cage. Maybe want to crank her up and square from her hooks to her pins just a little bit, but a very high-quality prospect that I think is going to be a really good brood cow for the young lady down the road. Congratulations on your single entry. Here's a really high-quality female this young lady brought to us today. One that's actually a little greener in her makeup, but that's okay. She's fresh in her appearance. Maybe needs to have a little more fleshing ability in her belly shape, but I don't mind a heifer with that kind of added frame and that extension. She's got really good feet and legs. She needs just to be rearranged a little bit in her hip structure, but the young lady does a great job getting her in here and getting her shown. Congratulations on your single entry. Give her a round of applause, folks. Whatever you want to do. You'll be second. Here's a really high-quality pair of females in the ring that are presented very well. Young man and young lady have these heifers dressed very nice. You can tell they've been working on their hair coat, and I commend them for that. It gets close for me on these two females. I like different things about both of them. For me, it comes down to the balance on the red female. She's just a little bit better when she's on the move. She's more balanced up. She gets out and handles her hind leg and her hip a little bit better. With that being said, though, the young lady that comes in second with her black heifer, I like her added power. When she's on the standstill, that is an up-headed, extremely feminine, long-bodied female that's got a lot of bone and a lot of hoof. But when you set her in motion, she just kind of gets a little too long-bodied, gets just a little off in her hip structure when she gets on the go. But I'll tell you what, that's a very high-quality pair of heifers. Congratulations to you two. Let's give them a round of applause.
Congratulations.
pretty high quality class of females here. One that leads off is extremely good in her body shape and how she handles her rear legs. She has a big hip. She's powerful. I mean, if you want to just get so critical on that heifer ever so slightly, maybe relax her a little bit in her knee and square that up just ever so slightly. But that's being fairly picky on a very, very high-quality individual. Congratulations, young lady. Young man coming in second. This is a good female, folks, one that you just got to appreciate. The elegance, the balance. She's good about her head and neck. I love the body condition she's in. She's got a big hip. She's powerful. She just doesn't have the hair coat and blessed with the power as the heifer in front of her, but one that I think is just a fault-free kind of an individual. Young man bringing his heifer around next, really square made, really powerful down her top. She just is a little plainer about her head and neck for me to be a show heifer, but one that I think does a lot of things right. Really long, really sound, really square. Going to be an excellent cow for that young man. Young man's baldy heifer rounding out the class. That's a good project. She's ultra good about her feet and legs. She just needs to be a little more sharper headed about her ears and her head set for me. Maybe give her a little more power in her hip. But that's a fault-free kind of a female. Good job to all these exhibitors. Congratulations to everybody. Another high quality class of heifers here. The young lady's female that comes out wins pretty handily in my mind, and one that's got a lot of quality to her. She's really powerful in her hip structure. She's extra fresh about her head and neck. I like the condition she's in. That'd be a heifer. If somebody asked you what kind of females Weston Geppert likes, that's the kind I like right there. Young lady coming in second. This is a good heifer that's got a nice balanced look about her. She's really, really fresh about her head and neck. She gets out and moves really good. She's just a super complete, really high quality female that I think has a lot of breeding value for this young lady. You know, maybe she needs to be rearranged here and there and get her some extra bells and whistles to get around that heifer in front of her. Young lady, you just ran into a pretty good heifer today. Young man coming in third. I think this is a good. She's really quality. She has a lot of quality to her. She's a little smaller frame for my liking. She's maybe pushing a little more fat on her top than I prefer, but one that is a really highly presented heifer. The young man does a great job. She's got a lot of muscle. That's a good heifer. Good project for the young man. Young man coming out next. I think that's a high quality female again. One that's really smooth, really practical is the way I'd like to describe her. She's sound on her feet and legs. She gets out and moves good for you. That's going to be a really nice brood cow prospect for the young man. Young man coming in next with the white socked heifer. Really, really good heifer in terms of length and body. Just not that doesn't give me a real breeding heifer kind of a look. She's just a little smaller faced, a little shorter about her head, and just doesn't really give me a real maternal look, but one that has high quality pieces, a lot of foot and bone underneath her, and good muscle. Young man rounding out the class. Heifer just got a little outpowered today. One that just needs a little more maturity, but a really high quality class of heifers. Congratulations to everybody. Let's give them a big round of applause.
She stood first in that class.
Another high-quality class of females here. Young man's heifer that leads off the class, kind of does so handily. She's not the stoutest heifer out here, but I'll tell you what, she's got the most balance, the most presence. I'd like to maybe stouten her up over her hip and give her maybe a little more bone and power for my liking, but I think she's a high-quality individual that dang sure can stand some competition. Young man coming in next has a real complete female as well, maybe just pushing a little bit more condition on her that I'd like to see, but one that has a lot of top shape. She gets around and moves very well out in the ring, one that I just maybe like to freshen her up in her appearance and to maybe get around that heifer in front of her. Young lady's got a really long-bodied, big-hipped, big-foot, good heifer that comes in next. She just needs to have more added belly shape for me, give me a more maternal type of a look, but one that's high quality as well. Young lady coming out next. Heifer's giving her a little bit of a fight, but one that has some presence about her. I like her condition. She just needs to handle her hip and hind leg a little bit better for me, but one that I think is presented well, and she does a great job showing her. Young lady rounding out the class has a real practical, has a real long-bodied, practical type of a female, one that's got a good hip shape to her. Just needs to get powered up and a little more maturity to get her up in the class. Congratulations. Give those exhibitors a round of applause. So what was the class? What was the class? As we get out here in our March division to select your champion and reserve, it's a pretty logical choice for me to keep these two heifers, the class winners, together. Young lady out of the first class of Marches, you'll be your champion heifer for this particular division. Young man out of the second class of Marches, you'll be reserve in this division. Congratulations to all your exhibitors. A really high set of quality set of heifers. A really high quality heifer to lead off this class, and I'll just go ahead and say it. Young man, your haircut is incredible, and I commend you for having that much hair on your head. The longer I'm getting older, the more bald I'm getting, so I will say I really like your haircut. But that heifer's really good too. She's high quality. She's really good in her feet and legs. She gets out and moves good. She could maybe lose a little bit of weight and freshen her up a little bit, just a skosh, but one that's high quality, very well balanced, one that I think has a lot of future for that young man. Young man coming in second. It's got a little bit of a bigger frame type of a female, one that's got a little more power, a little more performance in her. I like that heifer quite a bit. She gets into the second spot pretty handily, in my opinion. She's got a really good breeding value look to her, one high-quality project for the young man. Young lady coming in next, got a really stout featured heifer, one that's really wider skulled, really stout down her top. She just doesn't get out and move as good on her feet and legs for me, but one that has a lot of power, a lot of red meat packed into her, one that I think is pretty good. Young lady rounding out the class has a really well-balanced, practical kind of a female. Not a hole in that heifer. Just lacks a little bit of bells and whistles to get any higher in the class today, but a really high-quality set of heifers. Let's give those exhibitors a round of applause. Here's a really high-quality single-entry heifer, one that paints a perfect picture from the side. Really big feet and legs on her. She's got that awesome sweep to her belly. Maybe you just want to stouten her up in her forerib just a shade, but boy, that's a high-quality female with a lot of really unique parts that I think can stand some competition down the road. Young lady, congratulations on a great single entry. Let's go ahead and give these exhibitors a round of applause. This is an excellent lineup of calves. Me and my dad, we run about 250 Angus cows, and boy, I tell you what, it gets fun when I get out here to judge shows, and I see a lot of cows, black cows at home, and we raise a few show heifers and do that type of stuff, but boy, when it comes down to picking these, it kind of comes down to personal preference for me, and there's some give and take in a couple of these heifers. I mean, and there's 3 of them that I think are in mostly contention. There's a couple things I'd like to tweak about them both, but I'll tell you what, they're so high quality from top to bottom out here. These heifers are doing a great job. These kids are being great to be showing them and doing a great job getting them stuck and presented. I'll go out and select you a champion and reserve heifer. Once again, thank you. Congratulations to all these kids. Great set of heifers. Nice pair of market heifers here on the top end. This young man's black heifer that leads off the class has a little more body shape to her. She's a little bit better condition in this stage of the game for me. I think she's pushing more muscle over her hip and over her stifle. One that I think is really good in her bone work. Got some extra feet and leg underneath of her, and one that's got a good look to her when she gets on the standstill. Young lady's got a really fresh, really heavy muscled, high quality red heifer coming in second. If she's putting a little more weight on her today, you could swap those two back and forth, but two very high quality individuals that both have a lot of unique pieces about them. Young man coming at third here has a heifer that's fighting the halter a little bit today for him, but he's doing a good job sticking with her, and he's got her presented really well. He did a great job getting that heifer fit and dressed. One that's just a little outperformed in terms of weight per day of age today. And the same could be said with the young lady rounding out the class. Nice quality female, practical, nothing wrong with her. Just gets outperformed today. A high quality set of heifers to start out our market show. Let's give those exhibitors a round of applause.
Congratulations to Gabe Nielsen, the first in that class of market heifer.
Well, people watching ringside, if you wanted to see a definition of what a show heifer or a market heifer looks like, I think that one paints a pretty good picture for you. One that's really good built. She's wide-based. She's got some squareness. She's extra sound at the ground. That's a good heifer. Highly presented. Young lady does a great job showing her. That's a good calf. Young man, this is a very close pair between these two heifers. I debated them back and forth, but I took the heifer with more power and more shape, more bone and substance, coming in second. Young man does a good job getting this heifer presented. She's in the right condition. I'd say it's ideal for me. Young man rounding out the class. Just got out horsed today in terms of bone and power. She's a little higher yielding type of a female, but one that's still high quality, one that I think's got to have a lot of red meat when she gets to the rail. Congratulations to you exhibitors on a high quality class of heifers. Here's some higher performing, heavier heifers in this class, and not necessarily one that you just absolutely gravitate to right away, but when you break it down, it's pretty easy to use this young lady's heifer. She's pushing the most product. She's got the meat on her, and she's probably ready to go hit the rail anytime, and I think she's a high performing, she's good built, got a good look to her. Perfect in her condition. I like her quite a bit. Young man coming in next, gets in there on the second hole on basically just being a weight per day of age, one that's got a little more fat cover on her shoulder, on behind her shoulders right now, maybe pushing a little more product. Young man's got the longest bodied heifer in the class, but consequently that also makes her one of the leanest females, but a high quality female with a lot of shape down her top. A nice class of heifers from top to bottom. Congratulations to you, exhibitors. Really been a great market heifer division. It's been fun to get these heifers out here, and there's been quite a few, and quality's been tremendous from top to bottom. For me, when we select our champion market heifer, we're going to use the young lady out of Class 2. She'll be your champion, and we'll follow with the young man out of Class 1 for reserve. Let's give these exhibitors a big round of applause. This is a nice set of heifers. As we start our class of market steers here on this first class of lighter weight steers, the one that kind of comes to the top for me is got the most muscle shape. This young lady's calf that wins the class. He's got the most shape down his top. He's got the most shape from stifle to stifle. He's not the most attractive calf when he's on the standstill, but one that I'd call a real meat and potatoes kind of a calf. Really practical, really functional. High muscle, good calf. Young man with this white calf coming in next. I think he's got a lot of frame added to him. Just want to rearrange him on his legs a little bit, make him a little more balanced. That's a good steer, though. Young man's calf's acting up on him a little bit here, coming in third. Nice practical calf, just not pushing as much muscle down his top, as much red meat as the Charolais calf in front of him. Young lady's got an awesome profile and steer. This calf looks awesome from the side. When he came in, I said, wow, there's my class winner. But when I analyzed him from the ground up, he's really narrow based, and he just doesn't have as much muscle, and he's really narrow from his hooks to his pins. Young lady rounding out the class, just got to outperform today with this red steer, one that's just lighter weight, got a lot of future for him. Just keep feeding that calf, and you'll do fine down the road. Congratulations to all you exhibitors. Let's give them a round of applause on a nice class. Here's a really fault-free, practical kind of a calf that's got plenty of muscle shape. He's ideal in his cover. He gets out and removes really good, real practical kind of a calf. Doesn't want to just necessarily get his head up and present himself the best, but at the same time, he's a fault-free. He's well-balanced. Young lady did a great job presenting him, and that's a good calf. Young lady coming in next. This calf gives you a heck of a look sometimes on the standstill. He's really rugged in his bone work. He's big down his top. He's really good about his neck and head extension. One that just needs to get freed up a little bit on the move, and he'd probably, if he was better on the move, he'd probably be able to get into the class winning spot, but today he's just not getting out and moving good enough for me. Young man coming in next. That's a really practical calf, heavy muscled, sound moving, just doesn't have the bells and whistles to get ahead of those two steers and ahead of him today. Young man bringing out this Baldy steer, one that's real practical. He doesn't have as much red meat down his top and isn't as opened up underneath as the class winners and the calves before him, but one that's real practical in his type and kind, sound moving, just needs more muscle. Young lady just has the highest performing, biggest frame steer out here today, but unfortunately I have to have her round out the class. He's the narrowest based, and he just doesn't have as much muscle from hooks to pins. One that is a high-yielding, high-frame, high-performing calf. A great project for the young lady. Congratulations to everybody on that great class. As we get into our lightweight division to pick our division champion, it comes down to these two class winners for me, and I think there's a steer that just fits the mold in terms of functionality, being a show calf, still having plenty of red meat. Young lady out of class 2, you'll be your champion for this division. Young lady out of class 1, you'll be reserved. Congratulations to both of you. Here's a really unique steer to lead off this class. One that's fresh as a daisy and really, really cool. He's got a great look from the side. But when you get your hands on that calf, he's got a lot of muscle down his top. He's wide-based. He gets out and moves really good. I mean, that's just a really solid, really good calf. Young man coming in second. I call this calf the meat and potatoes kind. One that's really rugged. He's fat. He's got muscle. He's got a little more raw bone. One that just maybe starting to get a little extra conditioning going up in his front 1/3, but one that's really stout, really high performing. That's a good steer, just fundamentally correct. Young man coming in next. I kind of debated between these two steers, these next two, which ones I did. They both need to be a little bit rearranged in their leg structure in the front end, but they're both long-bodied. They're both got some muscle shape. It's just a little bit of a difference to me. The young lady steer just a little more forward in his shoulder. That's why she goes right where she is. Young man rounding out the class just got into a lighter muscle kind of a steer. One that's really good in his condition, just doesn't have as much red meat and not opened up as much as the other steers ahead of him. High-quality classic steers. Let's give those exhibitors a round of applause. Here's a really high-quality pair of steers in this class. I took a little extra time to kind of make my decision, and I'm going to go off with this young man's white calf. I think he's just a little more my style. He's got more bone underneath of him. He's wider from over his top, pushing more muscle down from his hooks to his pins. That's just a wide-based, rugged, and that calf is fresh as a daisy as well. I think his best days are down the road. Young lady's calf that comes in second. This was really close, folks. You want to talk about a calf that's super fault-free, ready to go, paints that perfect picture from the side. That calf is awesome. You can really appreciate him in just a practicality standpoint, plus he's got 1 foot in the show ring and 1 foot in the feedlot. That's just a good calf with a show steer look and a really high-quality class steers. Young lady or young man coming in next. I talked to him before when we were handling him. He's always having fun out here. This kid's always got a smile on his face. He's got a high performing calf that's got a lot of frame to it. It's got some muscle shape down its top. That's a good solid fundamental calf. This needs to be a little bit more balance from the side to get ahead today. Young lady with the Hereford Mark steer just ran into some higher performing calves with a little bit more muscle shape and true red meat, but a great group of steers. Congratulations to those exhibitors in this class. That was a great class of steers.
All right, first in that class of medium weight market steers was Jackson Krebs, followed by Kylan Green, and then Aiden Quayle and Ashlyn Nitschke. So we are ready to pick our champion and reserve champion medium weight steer this morning. So we'll have your class winners, Kyra Payne and Jackson Krebs. And then we've got Kate Swenson and then Kylan Green.
Here's a really awesome division in this middleweight class. There's those two class winners out here, and it's up to you to decide out on your on the outside which ones you like better. You can flip a coin, and it's pretty close for me. As we get out here and analyze him a little bit more, I think there's a steer out here that's just a little bit sounder off his front end. He's a little bit fresher, and I think down the road he's going to have a great time. I think that's going to be one extremely competitive steer. Young lady out of the first class, you'll be your champion. Young man out of the second, you'll be reserved. Congratulations to you two. Here's a nice class when we get into these heavyweights, the steers that are getting up there in their weight, but they're carrying it well. This calf gets out and moves fairly good for how big he is. He's really wide based. He's got plenty of chest floor. He's opened up underneath. Good practical calf, really well balanced. He wins this class just being the fresher chested and headed and necked one. The red steer actually might have just a shade more power pushing down his hip, but he's just a little staler for me. That's why he goes second. He's a little wastier about his chest floor, but one that's really sound and practical. Young Man does a great job showing this calf and getting him presented. That's a really high quality pair of steers with just some subtle differences. Young Man rounding out the class. This is a really high performing, full of red meat kind of a calf. Doesn't have that show steer look that I'm looking for. Wants to get out on himself and needs to be loosened up on his structure, but a highly practical kind of a calf. Congratulations to all you guys. That was a great set of class of steers.
Congratulations to Tyler Wallace.
Here's a nice pair of heavy steers here that get out and move really well. Young Man's black steer that wins the class. Just has more muscle shape over his hip and from his stifle. One that's just got more red meat and product. Both these steers, I think, are extremely good on their feet and legs for this much weight they got on them. And their finish is really close. They're high-yielding type of cattle. Ones that I think are really high quality. Young lady with the red steer just doesn't balance up as good as the black steer does today, so that's where she goes. But that's a nice pair of calves. Let's give these exhibitors a round of applause on some high-quality steers. As we get into our heavyweight division here, we got our 2 class winners, and I really like the young man's black and white calf to win this division in the heavyweights. And then we're going to go ahead and use the young man's red steer out of class, the second place red steer for reserve. And give these guys a round of applause. We'll get all the steers back in here and get you a champion. Good job, buddy. Good job. Good job, dude. Thank you.
Previous winners come back into the ring. So your champion lightweight steer was Brianna Swenson. And the medium weight champion was Kyra Payne. Your heavyweight champion was Tyler Wallace. And we'll bring in the reserve winners as well. We've got Justine Reese. She exhibited the lightweight champion or reserve champion this morning. Jackson Krebs, he exhibited the reserve medium weight steer. And Anthony Quayle, the heavyweight reserve.
Let's give these steer exhibitors a round of applause on a great lineup by your champion drive. It's fun for me to judge steer shows. I don't get to do it as much as I used to, but I really enjoy looking at these animals, how you can get these things so full of muscle, still stay sound, and then give you that killer show steer look from the side. It's extremely difficult to do, and I just love staring at them and looking at them. It's really fun for me. I think this has been a high-quality set from top to bottom of steers. I think I came back here. I judged this show about 3 or 4 years ago, I think, and I say the quality of the kids, the quality of the cattle, especially in the steer division, has gotten even higher. So I think that's something to give your guys a pat on the back as a county. I think it's getting extremely competitive. I think the cattle are great. The kids are great to work with. Let's give these exhibitors a round of applause, and I'll go select you a Grand and Reserve. Again, I'd like to thank everyone for letting me come out and evaluate these steers today and these heifers, and did your showmanship right away this morning. It's been a lot of fun for me. I want to thank your show committee for inviting me back, and special thank you to my ring help here. You guys have been awesome helping get these cattle flowed through the ring and getting them out the door and getting them lined up. I know that can be kind of stressful at times, but I think everyone's done a really great job. So if it was me, I'd give everyone a big round of applause for all the help and effort you put into this. When it comes down to picking out your supreme champion market animal, it's pretty hard for me to beat that steer that comes out of our steer division. He'll be your champion overall market steer, and then young lady, you'll be reserved with your market heifer. Congratulations to you two.
All right, congratulations to Kyra Payne. She exhibited your grand champion market beef this morning, and reserve grand champion shown by Allison Wallace.
We think that was charging.
Oh yeah, it worked.
Okay. We're not Apple people, so we weren't sure.
Nope, that worked good.
Okay, so next what we'll be doing is we're going to honor the rate of gain winners. I've been told they're not going to bring their animals in. The exhibitors are coming in, and then we'll award them their prizes for the rate of gain winners. Okay. So I'll review this with you so you know who the winners were. We have the first winner in the rate of gain contest was Allison Wallace with a rate of gain of 3.51. And we had Claire Scholerman of 3.49. Rylan Arrett, he was at 3.33. Caden Swenson was right there too at 3.33. Kelsey Arrett was at 3.15 along with Brianna Swenson, also 3.15. Kylan Green, her project gained 3.13 pounds per day. Ashlyn Nitschke had a couple in a row, 3.02, 2.97. And then Easton Breivik, he was at 2.95. So congratulations to all of these kids.
Madeline, why don't you, can you give out those, because Claire is receiving? Hey Barb, who's the rate of gain sponsor?
What'd you say?
Rate of gain sponsor?
Okaboji GM.
Okay. So congratulations to all these young people, and special thanks to Okaboji GM Toyota for donating the prizes to these exhibitors today. Now, before we break for lunch, we're going to have Beth Doran, who is our county or our ISU Beef Extension Specialist for the area. She's going to go through the Beef of Merit Award, explain a little bit about how that goes, and the process, and also who was involved. So I'll let Beth talk about that.
Okay. Can you all hear me okay? Last Thursday of this week, you had 38 4-H'ers bring their animals in, and they were ultrasounded. And the ultrasound basically is a way to get at what is the carcass quality. It looks at muscling. It looks at the amount of fat that those animals carry. And it's really important to try to put those two things together, especially for these 4-H'ers that are going to go on, that eventually are going to be running feed yard cattle out there. They're going to need cattle that gain, that grow, and that will cut good on the rail. The long story of it is, with ultrasound, it's like an X-ray. easiest way to describe it. It's just kind of like an x-ray. And so you get to look and you get to kind of see what the carcass might be on a live animal without having to go into a packing plant and look at an animal that's been harvested. What I would say on the Carcass Contest, and I'm going to speak to you kids that are in this contest. A couple of things you need to be aware of. You need to have animals that gain well. That's a part of it. Then you need to have an animal that's got enough cover and finish to get it into a high quality grade. When you go in the grocery store, you see that white flecks of fat that's in the muscle. That's what they're looking for on the ultrasound. The other thing they're going to look at is, does the animal have a lot of muscle? And you heard your judge talk this morning, Judge Geppert talk this morning about he thought this one was wider, he thought this one had more spring of rib to it, was a wider, meatier animal. When you combine the gain, the quality grade, and your yield grade, which is basically an indication how much muscling you have, that's how we come up with the retail value per day. On that column, and when you get those sheets on that column that's going to be clear over to your right-hand side, you'll see a dollar value. And your dollar values range from over $4 a day in carcass that was being added in value down to about $2. Now, I want to make sure that you understand we had a lot of variability. But if I had to say one thing that I thought probably separated all of you that were in this contest was your average daily gain. Because you're looking at lean muscle per day on feed. So animals that gain better and have a good carcass are going to place better in this contest. At a lot of variability. Average daily gain, there's 2 pounds, over 2 pounds spread between the top gaining and the lowest gaining animal. When we looked at carcass weights, there was 400 pounds difference between those animals. Ribeye, we were looking at 8 inches difference. That's a lot when you start looking at the ribeye size. Fat cover, we were about 6/10. I want you to go home when you think and find on a ruler, I want you to look for a 1/2 inch. There were some that were carrying almost a 1/2 inch more. In fact, a little over a 1/2 inch more. Quality grades. Now, people say that a show steer, that your show steers out here can't grade. I would argue with that because your highest grading animal today in this particular contest was a low prime. They can grade if they're fed, if you manage them well. But we also have some cattle in there that were low selects. That means there's hardly any marvin, no white flecks of fat in that. When you put all of that together, I'm going to talk now about the top 5. I want to talk to you that have the top 5. We're going to go through and I'm going to try to explain a little bit why you're in that top 5 and why you placed where you did. And 5th hole. And I'd like to have you just kind of come out here and stand. In 5th hole, Tyler Wallace. Tyler, you want to come out here? Now, they say a heifer can't compete. Well, a heifer can compete. We had about 11 heifers in there, and your heifer made it into the top 5, so I know that she can compete. Her gain was 2.88. You'd say, well, that's not a real high gain. Well, that's a pretty good gain when you're looking at heifers, and especially when we were looking at the kind of weather we had back here early July. It was extremely hot. I imagine it's a little tough for all of you kids to keep them on feed when that weather broke and we were over 100-degree temperatures. Your heifer had 15.2 inches, square inches of ribeye. That's good. She had a high retail product. That means that's an indication how much overall muscling. She was running 66, almost 67%. Very, very good. So you were going to be in 5th place hole. What probably put you there was because you didn't have quite the gain at 2.88. But again, that's good for a heifer. And it's tough for heifers to compete against steers. So I applaud you for doing this. In 4th hole, I want Claire Schullerman to come out. Claire, I love your outfit today. You look like you're having a lot of fun. You look very fashionable. Okay. Claire brought an animal. Her animal basically had an average daily gain of almost 3.5, 3.49. That's doing really, really good. In fact, in our top 5, that would have been the second highest gaining one that we had in there. Now, what hurt you, though, for as big as your animal was, that you were looking at a 1,550-pound steer, and obviously you fed him. He probably ate a lot. Maybe you spoon-fed him, I'm not sure. For as big as he was, though, he only had 12 inches of ribeye. And it's tough. That's a little small for an animal that's that large. So that's what caught you basically on that. That's what just squeaked you into a yield grade 4. That's an animal that doesn't have quite as much muscle when you're into a yield grade 4. It's because his ribeye is a little small for as big a carcass as he has on it. But a very good job. 349, awesome gain. My cattle feeders would love to have you feeding cattle for them. Third hole, Allison Wallace. Allison brought you also another big animal, 1,510 pounds, 14.6 on the ribeye size. So you were, running a little greater than Claire was in terms of the ribeye size on your animal. Now, what you put you in third hole, though, well, we talked about those little flecks of fat that need to be in the muscle. Well, what you were looking at, you didn't have quite as much. You went high select. Now, there's some things that can pull that out. Stress, heat, anything that stresses an animal. So, for a big 1,510-pound steer, you did an awesome, good job. Just got caught a little bit on the high select grade. Now, your reserve champion, Caden Swenson. Caden brought you one with a gain of 3.33. That's hanging right in there on the steers. That's not a bad gain at all. You had a little lighter animal at 784-pound carcass. We were looking at a 1,255-pound steer. Typically on these contests, you'll see a little heavier carcass will tend to do just a little bit better, so a little bigger animal. So next year, what I would encourage you to do, maybe start with one that's just a little bit bigger when you pick them out this fall, when you weigh them in December, and go with just a little larger one that'll get you into a little more of a normal size. Now, you weren't in trouble in terms of your carcass, 784 pounds, but that was one of the smaller carcasses that we had. But you went low choice, and that's really good to get into the low choice grade. You had a yield grade of 2, so you are yield grade 2, meaty animal, graded well. Maybe not quite the gain, just not quite the overall size, but because you had all of these other things going, you had no numbers that really fell out. So, you're reserve grand champion. Congratulations. And your champion now today, Easton Breivik. And yes, we will have, I want you to congratulate all these kids before we get done. Easton brought you a steer, 1,435 pounds, kind of hanging in there. Now I want you to listen to the ribeye size on this calf was 16.9 square inches. That's a big ribeye. That'll fill your plate. You probably won't have any room for vegetables on the side on that. And not only did you have a big ribeye, but you had a really lean one. Only 38/100ths of an inch. When your judges handle them over the rib, and feeling how much fat, that's less than 4/10ths of an inch. So you've got a big animal, a big carcass, a big ribeye, really lean. That got you into the yield grade 1, which is very, very good. But you still went low choice. So looking at your gain, looking at your muscling, your finish on your steer, that's why you were a grand champion. Now, I want you to congratulate. We have some other exhibitors out here. In 6th hole was Rylan Arrett. In 7th hole, we had Kelsey Arrett. In 8th, we had Ashlyn Nitsky. 9th, we had Jackson Krebs. Jackson's not out here right now. And in 10th hole, we had Brianna Swenson. I want you as a crowd to congratulate all these kids. It takes a lot of work to get one into this contest and to make sure that they've got the gain, they've got the carcass, they've got the marbling, that they put it all together. These 4-H'ers have done an excellent job. Again, congratulations to each and every one of you. Congratulations. Thank you. Congratulations. Good job. And now I think it's lunchtime for everybody. Oh, just a moment, Madeline.
Can we do the pens real quick? I got awards for the pen animals.
We normally judge the pens out there.
Right, never mind. It's lunch. Good.
It's lunchtime.
Thank you.